All right.
So.
So the first question I'm going to ask is not really a question. It's just tell us a little bit about yourself. You've had a little bit of prep work. All right, so no pressure. I'm happy to go first. I don't mind. You guys, it's up to you. Take the floor. I'll assign somebody, or I'll go. I don't mind. Don't
You
speak just
start,
yet.
we'll roll with it.
Don't
You
speak
start,
just
we'll
yet.
roll
I
with
can't
it.
hear anything because of the sub. There we go. All right, now go. Do you want me to go, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'm Mint, aka Rob Banks, mainly Rob Banks in the city. Been in the city, been at NXT for 14 months, something like that. 13 months, 14 months. I'm main cop because I'm a terrible crim. I'm too nice. I can't hurt somebody. I feel bad when I do it. Yeah, main cop, chief of police currently. Enjoy doing it. Love it. And I've been streaming for 8 years, give or take, something like that. Boom, done. Just a nice little high level introduction. Who wants to go next naturally?
I will.
Go.
Oh Lord.
So, Pablo Tescabaz, as you all know me by, did use to main him, but as of recent, I've been doing a lot on Diablo, getting into the police stuff. Been in NXT for going on 2 years now. Another month or two, it'll be 2 years. Been staff for over a year. Currently hold the position of a senior lead admin. You all take the piss out of me because I'm known to be one of the oldest in the city, which I just roll with, you know. Yeah, about it really, you know. Everybody seems to like me. At least I hope you do.
I do.
There you go. See,
That's one person at least.
you're the only one that matters, Banks. To be honest with you, fuck everyone else.
Yeah. For someone who said before we started this podcast that they didn't want to know that he was old, and has then gone ahead and said that he's the oldest in the city.
Well, I've took the Eminem route into it. You know what I mean? If I say it all first, then
Oh, nice. I like that.
No,
no
it's
one
bad.
else,
I like
no
that.
one else has any ammunition to come at me with it. You know what I mean?
What
Okay.
what other secrets do you have to tell us whilst we're here?
What are the
Anything else?
secrets?
Anything else?
Well, a lot of the gang members will know me as Pablo used to be part of the Plague family, which we recently switched up characters. I now go as Tego de Blamo. Obviously,
Rule number one of
family.
Plague is we don't talk about Plague, right?
Yeah, exactly. We don't talk
Plague
about
who?
Plague.
What?
So
What?
anybody
It's
mentions
like Fight Club.
Yeah, exactly. So anybody mentions Plague in the chat, you're getting yeeted. You're gone. So yeah, no, we play. I mean, that's where a lot of my RP goes. You know, into the Plague stuff. Been doing that for nearly a year now. Obviously, a lot of it goes on behind closed doors because it's a lot of illegal activities.
Can I use this? Can I meta this? Can I get
No,
a warrant now for your arrest?
No, because I've already typed up your flight ticket.
Beautiful, nice, perfect.
Okay, that's metagame.
That was a test and you passed. Well done.
Yeah. Yeah. What else do you want to know about me?
That's it. Happy to leave it there. We might get some more stuff, but
Yeah.
just who do you want to pass to?
I'm gonna put John under the my good friend John.
By the way, if you were too quiet, let me know, and I can turn people up independently. Just let me know in chat.
All right. Well, I'm MrShortLegs. I go by John in City as well as Eddie. I've been here for about 3 years now. I'm a developer and former chief of police. That's really all there is to me. I do staff work. I've been staffing for about a year and a half. But yeah.
So I'm laughing because they're asking Nev for an ID check.
Fuck. I knew this was coming.
Just on a side note on the Nev situation, yeah, I did recently just tell him to take his hood down because he looked like a 12-year-old, which he did do. So he obviously listens to my demands.
Yeah, this was all a setup just to catch Nev. This was all part of a ruse just to get to ID check Nev.
Yeah, can I have you in staff one, please, Nev?
MrShortLegs, who do you want to pass to?
Nev, the 12-year-old.
Nev.
Fuck's sake. Right. My name's Joe. I play Lil Nev, and I also play Was a Neville. Was a Neville's the cop, and then obviously Lil Nev's the little crim. They're both midgets. And I've been in the city since last October, and it's been really good, to be honest. Nice community. That's about it.
Nice. Who do I pass to?
I think there's only me left. Only me left. Okay, I'm Magnus Booger. Also, some people might know me as Alex Woods now. I started playing on COP a little bit more. I have been in the city for coming up on 2 years. I'm now a lead admin, and I've been part of staff for about a year and a half as well now. In September, it's going to be 2 years. That's about it, really.
All right. Pabz, you've had a request for a camera, mate.
You want my camera? Do you really? No, I'll do it. If you
don't do it, because I have to do the entire overlays again. All right, we're not doing that live.
See,
all right.
Banks has spoken.
I'm saying no. I'm saying
right,
no.
There you go.
It took me 45 minutes to get the scene set up, right?
Look, just
maybe next time.
So you're all aware, yeah. If you go to OnlyFans, pab.com, yeah, I've got some big pictures on there.
I'm gonna
beep that out.
Wait, hang on. What is it? Let me go to it. What is it? How much is it?
It's $2.99.
It's cheap. Is that per toe? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's just per toe.
Okay, all right.
Bearing in mind that I only have 3 toes. I'm from the coast, aren't I? I've got webs of 8. Sure.
I think some of you might have answered this question, but the other question I wrote down was how long have you been a part of NXT? So I think some of you answered that. I don't think everyone did. I'm not too sure. But if you want to quickly go through just how long you've been, I think you mentioned some dates, right? So I've been in there for 13 months. Magnus, how long did you say? You said 2 years, right?
It'll be 2 years in September, yeah.
Okay. Nev?
Since about last October, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, started last October.
Pabz, I think you said.
Man will be 2 years in July.
Okay. Carter?
3 years.
Cool. Okay. So we've
Wait, no one introduced Project. I completely forgot Project was.
Oh yeah, Project.
Bro.
Project is the logo in the middle. Project Beats. That's actually him. That's a live webcam. He's just a picture.
Live webcam.
Yeah. Introduction. Go, Mr. Carter.
Been here for 3 years. I play another character, Brian Savage, which is a harder criminal. Project just owns a mechanic shop. Senior admin for a long time.
Hell of a long time.
It's been a long time. That's about it.
Okay. By the way, in terms of questions, so I've written down some questions, right, for us to go through. If you guys have questions you want to ask everyone or someone in particular, just type it in chat. I'm more like I'll keep a lookout for it and ask the question. If I miss it, feel free to use like the channel point redemptions for highlight message. Got more chance of seeing it. But yeah, if you want to ask someone a question, put it in chat. The other question I have is when did you start doing GTRP? So like not just NXT, just in general, like just GTRP as a whole. I'll start. So I've been doing RP for probably 2 and a bit years, something like that. And yeah, I'll say about a year before I moved into NXT. I think I took about a 6-month break. I think NXT is my 3rd or 4th city. And I can't really remember why I got into RP. I can't remember if it was from clips or something like that, or YouTube or whatever. Something must have got me into it. And I remember my first scene being awful because the first thing I said was, "Guys, I can't hear you. My microphone's muted. Sorry, my mic's muted. I can't hear you." And all I remember is whoever was RPing with at the time who was getting me into it was like, "Mate, you can't do that," and pulled me to the side. And at the time, obviously, I was completely clueless, right? So yeah, I'd say about 2-3 years of me doing RP. NXT being my 3rd or 4th city.
For me, NXT was my first city. So 21st of July, 2022. One of my IRL friends told me to download FiveM, which I was like, don't really want to. I'd watched loads of RP like videos and stuff on YouTube, and I thought, oh, yeah, that looks cool. Anyway, he talked me into it, and that was it. Here we are now, nearly 2 years down the line, still in the same city and never been to another city. Yeah, I joined, met a couple of friends, decided to make our Joseph, as Cheesy just said in the chat, Joseph Yoko. He was one of my real life best mates. He brought me to the city, who's not here anymore. We decided to start a gang, Morai on top. Woo! Yeah, and then obviously Morai was sort of coming to a close. I was friends with a couple of staff members and stuff, and yeah, just decided to apply for staff. Didn't think I'd get it, and yeah, here we are now. Moved up the ranks.
I actually remember when you first came into City as well, because I was on the staff team. I was support for a little while, and then I think I made it up to mod. And I remember Pabz was one of those people that would always come up to support for every little thing. Like I'd literally I'd look at my other monitor and I'd just see him there. I'd deal with it. I'd look back 10 minutes later. I come back and he's there again. And
I'm a boomer.
Yeah, he's a boomer. He doesn't know what he's doing, and yeah, I think that with him coming up so much, I think he just he kind of got well known with the staff team for he's back up again, and then he went from there, really, didn't it, Pabz?
Yeah.
So mine's kind of similar to Pabz as well. I was playing GTA before, just online, and I'd seen videos and stuff like that, but I'd never really thought of getting into it. I used to play Xbox rather than PC. And then I think there was just a time when I was getting a little bit bored of GTA, so then I just decided to see what the RP side of it was like. I came in here completely, like, I guess with the idea of just being a shitlord, to be honest. I just came in, not a clue what I was doing, not a clue on the rules. And then I guess just getting into it just kind of got me attached to it, and then I've never left since in the nearly 2 years that I've been here.
Nice. Do you want to pass to anybody else, or do you want, maybe I won't pass. I'll just answer the question because I don't want to force the question to everybody, right? So I'll just ask the question, give it a bit, a bit of a gap between the questions, and then if no one speaks up, we'll just move on. Let's do that. Does anyone else want to answer that, or?
I've been doing RP for about, well, it would have been 4 years now. I've been role playing. NXT was my second ever city, but I kind of just started basically from YouTube. I saw a YouTube video, and from there I wanted to get in on the action. Previously, I did like Gary's mod roleplay for a while. I did a lot of dev work there, and that's just sort of how I got into roleplay as a whole.
Gmod roleplay, that's...
Yeah. I have heard of that. I've never done it. I've never seen it. I've heard of it. I don't know. Give me a 20-second rundown of Gary's Mob RP. Like, what is that?
Well,
what does that entail?
I'm a huge Star Wars nerd.
Okay.
So for me, it was a Star Wars roleplay, and basically, you went in, worked up through the ranks, and you joined different battalions and stuff, and did different missions, and it was all user created stuff. So it was fairly unique in a way. Different servers had different sort of selling points. But yeah, no, Star Wars is where I started with the roleplay, and then continued.
Ava says, "Who is MrShortLegs?" That's the commissioner right there. That's the commish right there. Or deputy commissioner. Do you have
PD,
as a Star Wars fan? Do you have a lightsaber? You must have a lightsaber. Do you want to compare lightsabers? Can we compare? Can we compare? If I show you mine, if I show you mine, will you show me yours?
Wait until after the stream.
Okay. All right. That's after 10 p.m. guys. All right. That's the late night stream. All right. Where we compare sizes of lightsabers.
Of lightsabers. Yeah.
Mine. I got mine from. I was across in the States and went to the Star Wars, fucking thingy Universal area, and I had to buy one. I couldn't leave without it. I had to.
I went to Comic-Con and got a replica of Mace Windu.
Oh, nice. Nice.
You not do that thing where I've seen videos of it before when they put it inside of like a table thing, and then like you can get different color lightsabers. Is that not what you did, Banks? No, you just buy it from a shelf.
So I bought it from a shelf, but it was like a Star Warsy. It was like the actual saber shop. I was gonna do the one where you build it, but they were fully booked. I tried booking it 2 months in advance, and they were still fully booked, so I couldn't get in.
So Josh just said that Nev is
Yeah, I know. I
pretty
was
much a
just gonna
youngling
say-
from Star Wars.
Josh, do you even know what Star Wars is?
Josh, are you old?
I noticed there was 2 questions in chat actually, so I'll answer those before, in case they need to leave. So there was one which was Adam. I think I've written down your name correctly. Adam said, whose idea was it for the podcast? It was mine. Okay, it was mine. Back in like December, I think, was it when I first put the ticket in? I was like, it'd be kind of cool just to put everyone together, just talk stuff, right? I know there's community meetings, NXT community meetings, but I thought it'd be kind of cool just to put post some people in from across the city, crims, gang members, staff, whatever. Just jump into a call and just talk shite, but also maybe talk some things around RP and kind of different takes on stuff, different scenes, kind of your thought, your mentality. For, with a nice kind of OOC kind of conversation. So it's been an idea for the past couple of months, and I put my foot down about a month ago. I was like, I'm going to do this. I need to prioritize this. If I don't, it's never going to get done. So I kind of brought it back to life. So mine. I don't think I've seen any other questions. I think that's it. Just there was one more, which was around admin support, but I think it went off the screen before I could write it down. Something to do admin support. I think Blank Mind, you said it. So if you want to put the question in again. Blank, something to do admin support. The fourth question was if you could change anything about the city or within the city, what would you change and why? So forget money, forget statistics, forget mods, devs, scripts, whatever, right? Just if you could snap your fingers and change one thing in the city, what would you change and why? Regardless of anything, right? Just you can change something, magically make it happen. All right, what would you change?
I know my answer right off the bat.
I go.
I've got 2.
Medical RP straight
Medical
away.
RP. Okay.
I love that. The slash me's and everything. I want that back. We used to have it, and I am very much for bringing it back.
I think I've got to say one for like the gangs and stuff and the crime as well. Is just getting the different gang turf again, like the one that we used to have like back in the day. Something that gets them active and stuff every day. Because it's obviously not only good for them, but it obviously gives cops something to do as well on the side. So I think for me, that's the main one. I think that's where we're lacking a little bit in is the cops and the gangs interacting more often.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Nev, you said you had 2, right?
No, well, yeah, I've got 1 definitely. I feel like there's been it's been in before. Wasn't around my time, but they had BCSO. I feel like that would be a really good addition, just because of there's not really much like going up. Like people are doing stuff up north, but there's like police, can't be bothered driving up there, and it's just like I feel like that should definitely be a thing that they should bring back.
To back up PD here, right? Bringing PD into this, okay? As the current chief. Now, what I'd say, it's not that we can't be asked. It's just when we do, no one's there.
By the time you get there,
we drive there and it's like,
That's
cool.
why they do
All
the
right,
crime there.
guys, this is code 4, and then it's back. Then it's a 25-minute back to city. No, so yeah, I get it. I understand for sure. Any other takers? Mine is. I wrote down the questions earlier, and I've never actually taken time to actually even consider kind of what my answers would be. The first thing that comes to my head is if I could change one thing, it would probably be people's perceptions. And what I mean by that is, it can be really easy to jump to like a perception of a certain situation or a scene, and it'd be kind of cool just for everyone to kind of be on the same wavelength in terms of expectation and perception. Like just because something played out a certain way, it might not have been that person's intention or the scene's intention, or the fun of RP is it's dynamic, right? You just go with the flow, you have fun with it. And sometimes people can maybe be a bit too attached to what the plan was going to be. Does that make sense? Like you could plan, you could sit there and plan a scene. Like I don't really like planned scenes. I'll do them sometimes. They're kind of rare, but at the same time, it's never planned in detail. It's like, here's a framework, and whatever happens in RP happens in RP, and that's the fun of it, right? That's why we do it. But like, just because you've said you plan something and it doesn't go that way, just go with it, right? And just have fun with it is kind of one thing I'd say. But that's across the board, right? That's a big one, right? And that's, I think, kind of supernatural a little bit. But that's kind of what I'd say.
I heard you sort of mention the other night in your PD meeting about the SOPs, and someone shouted over the top, role play over role play.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
That's
but within character, like I was put up against a bit of a brick wall, and I was trying to say these things within an RP meeting, and then I'm trying to put it across using not those words, but in that kind of context, right? And then someone was like, RP over roleplay. I'm like, yeah, kind of, right? SOPs exist, and it's something I've brought into the interview process for PD, and when we do promotions and stuff like that, is this question around what's the difference between an SOP and a city law. And city laws are what within RP, out of RP is rules, right? This server exists, and these are the rules you have to follow. City laws, right? Some people look at kind of PD SOPs and think that they're city laws, and that, they must be followed. And if I don't, I'm not going to get seen. I'm not going to get noticed. I'm not going to get promoted. This type of stuff, and it's not right. SOPs exist kind of behind the scenes to make sure it's fair for the city and everyone's having a good time, right? Now, if somebody is scared, or if a scene's happening, and like the SOP states this, but if you want to make the scene a bit funner for both people, or it makes sense, or whatever, and you kind of break or bend that SOP, I'm not gonna be here and be like, I'm pulling you into a room and risking you being fired, right? That's not what it's about. I'm always that kind of RP over roleplay, and it's just that context. As long as you can back it up, you give me context, you give me detail as to why that thing was bent or broken, I will back you. I will happily have a chat with whoever it is to take that heat off of you, because it made sense for the scene and both people were having fun. If you're just going around shooting people for the sake of it and not asking for kill shot authorization, or just code red vehicles for the sake of it, I'm going to speak PD language. I'm sorry if people don't know PD language, but if you're doing all this stuff and it isn't fun for anybody and it's unfair and it's just a shit scene, don't do it, right? I'm gonna tell you off for that. So it's just trying to find that balance, and it's reading the room. One of the other things is context is around use of force and like trying to match class. So if it's a class 1 scene, go class 1. If it's class 2, class 2. It's kind of similar for scene. If you roll up to a scene and it looks like it's a fun scene, people are dressed up as aliens driving fucking BMXs or go-karts, don't go in. Dude, those pictures, by the way, with the Mario Kart stuff looks so fun. Dude, it looked amazing. But like if you roll up to a fun scene as serious cop, it's going to be shit, right? And if you roll up to a serious scene as fun cop, it's probably going to be shit. Right, you just have to read the room a little bit and kind of adapt. But it is what it is, right? It just comes through practice. It's the same. It's a game, right? The more you practice it, the better you get at it, regardless of the game. So it's just one of those things. I'm gonna shut up because I talked a lot there.
I'd seen that a few people had mentioned a little bit further up about like prison RP. So like having cops that would actually like be in the prison, and obviously people that get sent to prison would have to, continue their RP past the point of being processed. Now I think that would be like such a cool idea if we had something like that. It's like back at Bolingbroke or something.
Not to talk about other cities, right? It's not what we're here to do. But I have experience of where that has worked well. But it requires a population for it, and it requires a bigger PD. The way I would quite like it to run is exactly that. You have a corrections guys, right? And you don't do it's kind of similar to our cadet training now, but you don't start as a cadet and go out and do ride-alongs, right? You start your PD training doing corrections, right? So you start your prison RP or your PD RP up at prison, and you're up there for 1 to 2 weeks, and you're kind of dealing with the prisoners up there. Like you're doing the searches, you're doing like you're kind of learning the aspects of being an officer, right? The probable cause, reasonable suspicion, how to do searches, how to cuff people. Like you're learning the basics within kind of that prison RP. And then when you've kind of graduated and and people have kind of rotated, to take your spot, you then go out into the streets, and then that kind of continues your RP, right? You're now putting people to the place you were learning, and it's this good cycle. But it requires, I think it requires a bit more prisoners, because otherwise it'd be kind of boring just up there, right? Or people wanting to go to prison, and maybe people purposely doing prison, they do nothing but doing prison RP, which is going to be a tough sell, I think. Or I think that's it. Actually, you just need people there.
Yeah.
Kind of is. And if I feel like this, if it's in a place to do that, I'll 100% back that. That sounds like a good idea. I'll back
Yeah,
that.
I just don't think we've got the amount of. I would definitely have enough cops for it. Like, I think you can only need like 3 or 4 cops, but I think it's the crib side of it is that obviously you only get certain people doing jobs every so often, and obviously it's on a cooldown as well. So
yeah, and probably lengthier prison times. So if you've got that aspect, if people are in PD, if there's coppers up there, if you're sending them for 25 months, 20 months, like you're only really giving them 20 minutes of RP every hour, every 2 hours. So if there's actually more people there and there's more prison fights happening, there's people were hiding shivs or there's stuff happening in prison. Do you know what I mean? It's hard. It's a tough one, for sure. What was that question? Where did that come from? I can't remember what I asked. Oh yeah, change anything in the city. I think that was it, right?
Yeah.
Everyone happy?
Yeah,
with
that's
that
the
question?
Yeah.
Anyone else? Cool. Okay. Has there been any questions in chat? Oh, there's one. Blank mind. I think it was for me. Is kind of you said why am I not an admin? The reason I'm not an admin is because I'm prioritizing content. Ultimately, I moved into the support space to help. I feel like I could do that. I could add value. Right. I'm always looking for opportunities where I can add value to things. I could probably do admin, but at the same time, it would mean a sacrifice in other areas, which means the quality drops. And I don't want to do that right now. I'm prioritizing content, this stuff, right? Getting out these YouTube videos, these cinematics, these trying to get clips out every day. That's kind of my focus, which I think does still benefit the city because it gets more eyes on the city and brings people in that way. So I think I can add more value in that space than I could as an admin. Maybe in the future, who knows? But if that happens, you're going to see a drop in content quality, and I don't want to do that right now. Okay. Any other questions in chat before I move on to the ones that I've got written down? Don't think so, from what I can see. The question I have is, what tip would you give to somebody who's getting into RP for the first time? So like someone brand new who's like, hey, Magnus, I'm going to get into RP today. I'm coming into the city. What advice would you give somebody wanting to start?
First thing, we read the rules.
Read
the rules straight off the bat. If you're going to avoid getting in trouble, we want to read the rules. Yeah. But I guess we're very good with having something that new people have the ability to kind of be guided without us having to tell them or anything. They obviously have people that are around the city that they can ask, and obviously that gives them a little bit more like social interaction. But you've also got like your F9, and you also have a guidebook in your pocket as well. So you've kind of got that to kind of get you started. I don't know. I guess the only thing I could really say is just read the rules and just don't come in there with the mindset that it's like GTA. Really is where you've got to look at it. You've got to look at it like it's, like you're actually there. That's the city that you're in, and hope people play along with that. But
sorry, I saw Self's message saying there's rules. Like she's just wait, what? No one told me. Okay, so read rules. Any others?
I feel like when people join the server, there's a lot of like servers that are like strict on like telling new people off. I feel like in this server, there's just like the admins are like, chill. They'll tell you what to do. They won't just straight up warn you or ban you. They'll give you a lenient. They're lenient on what they say and do.
Okay.
Pabz, you've been quiet for a little bit now. You need to speak up. Probably falling asleep. There we go.
I'm here.
One tip, Pabz, for someone starting the RP for the first time.
Don't join a gang straight away.
Facts.
Just go out, explore the city, meet people. Don't be a dick.
That's it. Just don't be a dick. Just end it there.
Don't do it. Yeah, don't do what most of them do.
I think if you go around with the right mindset, I feel like it's a lot easier for you to communicate with people. If you go around just starting stealing people's vehicles or like just punching people and stuff, you're gonna find it very difficult to get started and see.
Yeah, no, I think like from personal standpoint of what I've had to deal with for quite a while, is people coming into the city thinking that they're the new top dog.
Hmm.
It's that mindset of they come in and think they can run everything, but they get shut down pretty quickly and then complain. They need to come in with a good headspace of actually wanting to role play rather than thinking that they can be some mob boss
Mm-hmm.
and they've not established themselves whatsoever.
They've just finished watching like Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
They're like, right, this is it. I'm coming in now. And then within 3 minutes, they're in the ocean.
I think it's also to do with the fact that there's other cities that obviously have different rules and stuff as well, where some stuff that those people are doing in those other cities are not what we allow here. And obviously we do it for kind of the better of the social interaction that you get rather than just going around killing, robbing, just trying to get yourself in trouble, I guess. And I think that's where some people find it a little bit more difficult to kind of get that switch. But it's I don't know. Like they just need to read the rules. I guess that's the main one.
I think I would, similar to what I kind of suggested earlier, which is kind of go in with the kind of lower your perception or your expectation. So you're going in with this expectation, I'm gonna be this big kind of gang boss dude, right? We're going in, we're gonna murder everyone. Like kind of just go in with a kind of a chill kind of mindset. Just go with the flow, have fun with it. And yeah, as Pabz said, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
That's the big one, isn't it? Really, that's the majority. That's the big one. Just go with empathy as well a little bit. That's maybe that's just me, but always trying to think about kind of their experience. That's typically how I like to try and create scenes. Is you're not always the main character. You can make it's about trying to make it memorable for those people as well. For the people that are in that scene, like a bog standard traffic stop, whatever it is. What can I do? Just think about what you could do differently to make it memorable, to make it fun, and people will respect that. So yeah, go and have fun and just be careful with your expectations. There was a question I saw in chat which was kind of to everyone, I think, which is how hard is it to get quality roleplay in as a staff member? I don't know who asked that, but I grabbed it quickly before it disappeared. So how hard is it to get quality roleplay in as a staff member?
Don't answer calls.
Yeah, there's that. I guess if you want to get some quality RP in, you're gonna have to just kind of cut out the staff side of it for a couple of hours just to get your time in. But there's times when obviously there's not many people around, or it's busy, or we're boosting or something like that, and there's the time in to get RP in is pretty minimal. I feel like a lot of us get our RP from the cop side of it because it's a time when you can kind of just deafen upstairs and just have some RP, and you've actually got something to do as well. I feel like because we spend so long just going around, like just doing warnings and bans and dealing with staff reports and stuff, I just feel like there's just no time to get anything in around that. And obviously for us, the staff side of it is more important than the RP side of it, especially when it's boosting. So yeah, you don't get much. So when we do get it, we've got to value it really.
Without staff, the city would just be full of tugboats and wizards.
Yes.
Right. So like the staff.
Tugboats.
I mean, this you guys wouldn't have the RP if the staff didn't exist, right? So trying to find that balance between RP and staffing, right? Essentially.
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of our job as staff, and more so those that are in city staff, we see a lot of the negative side of the community. So when we do get that good RP and that extra special scenes, we value that a lot more as well. I mean, we all like to shut off and have a good laugh as well. We're not just here to enforce those rules. We're supposed to be here to enforce RP and make sure that it is a safe and comfortable environment as a whole.
I like that. Cool. Any other questions? Drama says, can they get in Plague? Who's Plague? No, don't say no. It means you acknowledge it. Who's Plague?
Yeah,
We don't talk about Plague. We don't talk about that.
Never heard of them.
No.
Never heard of 'em.
Okay, this is one that I wrote down, and I wrote this question down twice, and I was like, no, I'm gonna ask this because it's gonna be an interesting conversation. I think it's either gonna be a really interesting conversation, and we'll be here discussing it for quite some time, or it'd be a quick 30 seconds and it'd be over. And it's something I raised back in a community meeting at some point. I was like, I'm gonna ask it again here. Obviously, NXT is not whitelisted. If it was, yeah, I want to kind of get the conversation going around whitelisting NXT and how that would look or feel. Not saying it's going to happen or if it's ever going to happen, but just like kind of the challenges people we might see with it being whitelisted, the pros and cons, that kind of stuff, and just talk about it a bit because I think it's I've seen it come up a few times. Any thoughts on that one, or is that one just quickly swept under the rug?
No, I mean, Project can probably back me up here. We used to be whitelisted.
Okay.
A while back, we used to have to go through a whitelist sort of stage and everything, and it did go well.
It just died super quick, like super quick.
Yeah.
When you don't have people flying in, and we don't have like a real player base, like a big player base, it just died.
Was the numbers kind of the same back when, like before?
It was
no. It was a lot lower back then.
It was high at first, but it just died. It kept getting lower, and then it was just like 10 people in city. Yeah, it was pretty.
Okay.
I think now it would probably be a little bit different, but I also feel like at the same time we are still kind of growing. I don't think now is the time to be whitelisted.
Yeah.
I feel like we get the numbers at first, we get more, regular people flying in, and then that's, later down the line maybe that's something that they go into. But I don't think like now is an ideal time, to be honest, because it's back and forth. Like 1 minute we'll have 160 170 people in, but then during like the NA times we'd only have maybe 50 60 70. So it's about just growing for now until we get to a point where maybe they do think of being whitelisted. But the whole Danny's coming in and ruining stuff, we're quick to deal with it as well. I'd understand if it was a city that didn't have as much staff, or the staff weren't really as
That's true.
knowledgeable on some of the rules or active and stuff. It'll be difficult for them to kind of deal with these situations, but we're all kind of on the ball with it. So right now I don't really think it's too much of a problem. Obviously, Banks, you can kind of see it from your side because you obviously do a lot of RP and you stream and stuff. Like, do you really see that much stuff
really,
go on?
no.
There's
Not really.
because it's all
It's
getting
rare.
dealt with in the background. Like
It's very rare. Yeah.
as soon as something happens, it's getting dealt with. Obviously, just you're not going to see it because we don't want to ruin your stream.
Yep.
And even, like when you report something, we try to just get rid of it before anything happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. JMX said Danny's are entertaining sometimes. There was actually a guy, he was a wizard, right? I think I reported him, but I think I did a / report ID. Possible wizard, but he's a good guy. Like, he came across and picked up my PD car and started repping it. And I was having this fun little scene with him. I turned that, like, I think he was dealt with, right? He's still a hacking little turd at the end of the day, right? But at the same time, like, he's probably one of the first kind of GTA RP kind of hackers that wasn't spawning tugboats on you, wasn't, doing crazy stuff. He was like Jenny just going around and just having a bit of a laugh, which I thought was quite funny. I turned that little clip into a video, stuck into YouTube. It got like 12,000 views in 2 days.
What?
It's sitting at 12K right now, right?
Yeah.
People love that type of stuff, though.
People were like, how the hell did you do that? And someone was like, that's power gaming in chat and all this kind of stuff. Sorry, in the comments. But it's quite funny, right? I guess if it was whitelisted, I would never have had that interaction with that guy, right? So,
No, definitely.
yeah, Danny's are fun sometimes, for sure.
We've had a couple of like big YouTubers that have got big streamers that have come in, and the hackers or whatever, like the one you found, but they come in to get content for their YouTube and stuff. And obviously they pull off big views. And I remember there was one that I think he had about maybe 7,000, 9,000 stream viewers at the time on YouTube. And he came in as like a ped, like one of the, it was a random GTA ped or whatever. But obviously, we were straight on it. We were straight on the ball with that. We knew who he was, and we didn't know who he was. We knew he was a wizard because he had a ped straight off the bat. obviously with time, people told us that he was a streamer. We had a look at the stream. There were 7,000 people watching. Obviously we have to deal with that as we do as staff. We can't have someone going around as the hacker or whatever. But we gave him a little bit of time to kind of get content, I guess. Like he wasn't blowing things up. He wasn't stealing from people's pockets. He was literally just a ped, and he had like an accent, and he was just going around interacting with people. But he knew that we was watching him the whole time. And anyway, he got to a point where we were like, he needs to go now. His time's done. He's got what he needs to do. He needs to go. And I remember looking at his stream afterwards, and he was saying in that stream that like he knew that he was like the staff in this team were obviously straight on it, like they knew from as the minute he was in City that he was a wizard. And he says, he was like, oh, and I appreciate the fact that they actually let me RP for a little bit before they got rid of me. So yeah, we've had a few of them, and obviously, like you say, we wouldn't get that if we were whitelisted. But I don't think it really works for many cities street servers, because, like I said, you only have the big ones like No Pixel and stuff like that. The rest of them are growing.
I'll block out that name during the stream. Yeah, in the VOD. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're looking for. sorry. What? There we go. Just block it out. That's cool. Any other comments on the whitelist and stuff? I think I covered it all off, to be honest with you. I think. Mint, are you becoming the Joe Rogan of GTRP? Yes. No, like I said, this is episode 1, right? If people want this kind of stuff, I thought it'd be really kind of cool to bring everyone together, like the community together, chat about some stuff that we typically either are kind of talking about some of this stuff kind of in little segmented silos, or we want to talk about it, but we can't because we're in City dealing with stuff. We have to kind of use kind of RP language, right? I thought it'd be kind of cool just to put everyone together and just chat, right? We're all in this together. We're all here to have fun. We're all on the same server. Ultimately, it's us that make the server, right, that we all play in. So I thought it'd be kind of cool just to bring everyone together and just have a chat.
Next episode, he's going to be smoking a blunt. And
is that against Twitch? Twitch?
TOS had that done properly.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's any other questions. I think that's me done from. Oh, I don't know if I asked this one. Oh no, okay, I don't think I did ask this one. What does good RP mean to you? Because good RP is open to perception, right? It's interpretation. Someone's good RP scene could be somebody else's worst fucking scene. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to quickly go through and just, what does good RP mean to you? There's no right or wrong answer. Just thought it'd be a good one to talk about. Go.
I've like I said before, some of our best RP scenes have been like doing plague stuff. So it's sort of like behind closed doors, but I've come away from some scenes, and even before I was in plague, and I experienced plague from the other side, being in a gang, but going to my time in plague, like some of my best RP scenes have been with plague, and I come away from it. Like even the time when I don't think it was you, Banks, that got kidnapped. Who was it that got kidnapped?
Probably Noah.
Tommy and Mike and that brought me on board, and there was like
that was John Rice, that 4 days scene.
Yeah. So that, like, again, like stuff like that, that sort of like happens behind closed doors, not the whole city experience it. I come away from situations like that just buzzing off it, just absolutely thinking that was ace. Let's do that again.
I almost didn't do the way that ended. I was so tempted, right?
I know.
I was so basically the videos on YouTube. It's just John Rice. I think it's 3 videos, but it's like this 3-day scene with John Rice being kidnapped. This is the whole thing, and I kept kind of stressing on the fact within the video that kind of Banks is kind of a bit kind of has like he's hearing John Rice's screams in the back of his head, right? He's kind of he's probably impacted by this, and like the scene, like I've been in the server at this point by like 11 months, something like that, and I'm like, bro, I want to for the scene, for the content, I want to kill this guy. I think at this point I'm like 103. I think I'm like deputy chief or something. Like it's been nothing but PDRP for nothing but 11 months to get to this point, and I'm like, I want to kill this guy because it'd be good content. But if Banks gets caught, like he's done, right? He's killed somebody. And I wasn't gonna do it. And I think people could kind of see that I wasn't gonna go down that kind of, because I was kind of concerned about, could I be removed from the city? Well, not from the city, but like removed from the PD. And technically, yes, right. And then like I looked in DMs and I've got like 4, 5, 6 people from like management and stuff saying, Banks, do it.
I'll try to get you in the call.
Whatever you want to do, just do. It is your scene. Do whatever the hell you want with this guy. Whatever punishment comes at the back of it, we'll deal with it. So basically a free pass, right? And so Banks dumped somebody. But the thing is, I set up in a really good way, right? So me and Rice now have this. Only me and Rice know this, right? In City, that this thing happened. And the way I set it up was I kind of smart about it as well, so that if someone, whatever reason, there was some evidence lost or something like that, I made sure I gave Rice an alibi to pull the trigger to shoot this guy. Like I went to an ammunition store, I bought a gun, made sure the gun was unarmed. When I gave the guy some food, I planted the gun into his pocket. So then when we uncuffed him for him to eat, he pulled the gun and aimed it at Rice, so Rice shot him. So I kind of planned this to happen. Rice had no idea. And I was like, Rice, obviously, right, if we get pulled in and lie detected or something like that, I've given us a story, right? He aimed a gun at you and you shot him. We're telling the truth, right? So we kind of RP'd it out and I kind of set up that story in a really cool way. I would have loved to have ended it slightly different, which was I think Rice was being held in this cave, completely naked, in this kind of wilderness hole, right? And I would have loved for me and Rice to take him back to the place and like put him in where Rice was and then close the border and just leave him. But obviously Banks didn't know that in City. So like I couldn't do it from an OOC perspective. I'm like, bro, that would have been amazing for the video, and like the sound effects of the kind of stone rolling across to cover the cave and the fade to black. But Banks didn't know in City, so I couldn't use it. But yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Hell yeah.
Lil Nev, what does good RP mean to you?
I mean, obviously both sides are never going to enjoy it, like 100%, because everyone likes different types of RP. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but personally, me, if I'm enjoying it, I mean, I do care about other people, but as long as I'm enjoying it, I feel like that's just good RP.
Selfish.
You fucking selfish cunt.
You can't make everyone happy, so it's like sometimes who enjoys your RP, so you interact with them more. You know what I mean? So yeah, and like when there's certain officers on duty, if they prefer like the gang's like hopping out and shooting, and they prefer a shootout, then I'll do that. But if like these officers like just want to like a clean chase, then I'll do that. But it just depends who it is.
Okay.
I guess for me, it's got to be. I'm like the opposite to Nev. I think it's better when both sides are in a like they're going back and forth with each other. Like I feel like it's better when it's flowing, but it's random at the same time. So what's happening? The next thing you do is completely up to what you decide in the moment, rather than it being like planned out. I feel like that's where you find probably the most fun in RP, is when you don't know what's going to happen next. I feel like if it's planned, you don't get as much, entertainment from it. So I got to say, if both sides are like fully involved in the moment and it's just flowing and there's just things happening that you're not expecting next, I think that's probably, to me, the best type of RP that you could probably get in City. I've seen it before. We've obviously watched things before where that's happened, and you can get laughs from everyone. It's not just people involved in that scene. Like you'll get clips coming up and you'll see it and you'll think, oh wow, that was actually really good RP. And for me, that's probably the best type you could get, to be honest. We don't get it very often, but when we do, it's nice.
I mean, I think the best RP is when it's raw. So when it is just purely based off. Right, get your mind out of the gutter.
We're such children. we are such children.
I was going to say, you're such a child for being like almost double my age, I swear. But, fucking grandpa. So when it is raw and when it is genuinely like based off like pure emotion on scene, and I mean that as in like, I can see all the chat right now. I'm gonna block that on my other monitor, but still.
He likes it raw.
When it is purely just like instant reaction and instinct, it's not planned out, it's not scripted, it's all just from off the bat, off the head, nothing. I swear to God, Pabz, shut
I
your
didn't
mouth.
laugh first, and that was Magnus.
But like, when it is genuinely just,
Raw.
natural. Right, I'm gonna mute you. I swear to God. When it is just natural and it is just a good laugh, it's not something that needs to be scripted constantly.
Some of the best scenes and interactions I've had have been like the 5-minute traffic stops. Like it's the stuff. It's not the big stuff. The big stuff is fine. Right, you got your bobcats, you've got your, your fucking fleekas and stuff. But I've said it before on stream, and I say it again. It's like those types of scenes typically be like they kind of go on with a pre-scheduled plan of how it's gonna go down, like A, B, C, D, right? So A, grab a hostage. B, go to the place. C, here's your demand for free passions with spikes. D, there's a bit of a chase, right? And it's just this kind of the same stuff.
And rat roots.
But do you know what I mean? Like, but when it comes to a traffic stop, it's just that isn't really planned, right? It's just this dynamic thing that just happened, right? I didn't know I didn't know I was gonna pull him over. They didn't know they're gonna get pulled over, right? And it's just and you can kind of have a bit of a laugh with it. Some of them have been like really, really, really funny. There was one where I think it turned into this traffic stop. I think I got a cadet involved, and we were doing like this therapy session on the side of the road on a bench on the back of a traffic stop. It's just, do you know what I mean? The little things that just are so. Yeah, those things. I enjoy those things for sure. What else was I gonna say?
I just want to point out the fact that John obviously just made his statement about liking it raw, and then just mic dropped and left the room. He's just gone. Oh, no, he's back. There we go.
I want to go get another drink, mate.
Wayne, Ossian, I'll look into that, guys. I did see your message. I'll look into that on stream. Don't worry about that. I'll look into that stuff. What was I gonna say? Nev, did you answer that? I think you did. Yeah, you did. Carter, did you answer?
Yeah. Nah, I haven't. I mean,
you don't have to. Nothing comes to mind.
Yeah, I mean, just let it flow. You know what I mean? Let the RP flow. Have fun with it.
There was something about planned scenes. Obviously, there's some things that are planned, and I feel like they don't have to be, but they're better when they are for everyone. And when I say planned, it's more kind of this high-level thing of something's happening at this time. And things like, I don't really like doing it in RP because it doesn't really make sense, and it's really hard to explain in RP when someone's asking. But like when we do like a compound raid, right, and a gang compound raid, we've done it in the past where there was no knock, right? We got a SWAT team together, we went in, and we were basically in that compound and it was empty. Like we went in there and it was like, well, we're here now, and we just basically left immediately because it was like there's no scene, there was no interaction. And it was just like, so we kind of have to sometimes say, hey, this, somehow you found out in city that, this is kind of happening at this time. But without it, you kind of just go in there and there's nothing. Or you've got like, 16, 12 SWAT members, and you've got
come back.
You got 2 gang members sitting in, in the compound like, shit. You know what I mean? So when it comes to that kind of stuff, like the details, no one cares about the details, right? But just that awareness of probably make sure that you have a gang meeting on that day or something like that. So within RP, it kind of makes sense, but so they kind of have that scene. And similar to like prison transports and stuff like that, I'll do them, but I won't plan them out of city. It's just something that dynamically happen in city if it makes sense. So if I know like there's been a lot of activity from that gang, and I know there's a lot of them around, and we've just caught somebody and he's a high up gang member and he's got a warrant, we'll maybe float the idea of, and I'll kind of say, I won't go to the guy and say, hey, we're doing a prison transport, but I'll speak to the officers and let him know that, and kind of, speak so I know he's listening, so that they can kind of prepare for it without me actually telling them as the chief of police, we're going to transport you and try and get some resistance, right? It's because it kind of kills the scene, so you try and do it that way. So it's not planned, but you kind of set it up in a way so that it's kind of fair on both sides and everyone's kind of having fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like things should definitely sometimes be planned. I think Woodsy mentioned it in the thing, saying that
exactly,
big scenes and character kill-offs or character development type scenes can be in a way planned, but I feel like as well as it being planned, you also need to have the element of
surprise.
You've planned it, but the outcome could be anything. They could change.
Exactly.
Like nothing ever plays out as you expect it to plan out, right? And I think that's sometimes probably like the best way for it to go.
There's two scenes that come to mind. There's one where I think it was you and fucking Doc Zeddy with the whole stop sign bandit thing. Bro, that was so fun. Like, that was so fun, and RPing out that you're throwing stop signs out the back of the car and just spinning out. And then I think it led to you going to the top of PD, fixing PD aircon. I pulled up, there was an explosion. I think, obviously you were there, so there's this big explosion. Obviously not within RP, I don't think. Actually, no, that was fireworks. You did kind of use fireworks.
It was fireworks, but
so the scenes where staff are kind of involved and there's things happening that only kind of staff powers have. It adds, dude, there was one MrShortLegs, Eddie. I was just doing a traffic stop with these bikers, and like this joke around that Banks is always running body cam. Like, I've always got body cam running, and like these guys, I'm like, oh yeah, like if I don't run body cam, I've also got this pet pigeon, and he's called Dave. He flies around and he follows me around. He's trained and he's got a seagull. He's got a camera on him, and all of a sudden the seagull just flops on the ground next to me because he's turned into a pet and he's flopped next to me on the seagull. It's just that kind of stuff, right? It was so good. It was so fun.
I feel like as staff as well, like because our time is so limited to what we can RP. I think when we do RP, I think we like to do it a little bit more extreme than what the normal like civilians can probably do. Like obviously we sometimes do things that other people can't do. Like with that situation with the stop signs and stuff, we obviously used that first interaction we'd had with you to then try and develop it to something else. The whole thing of us going over there wasn't intentionally to do with the stop sign scene before. We were just kind of doing another type of RP thing with you because we enjoyed the one we did the day before so much. But I just remember seeing your face afterwards on the stream when that firework got set off on the roof because we was doing it as like an explosion, and then we'd got smoke everywhere and everything, and you're coughing as you come up the stairs, and then you get to the top and there's just me and Zed just shouting at each other. It just played out so well.
Yeah. Just the little things, right?
Yeah.
That was good fun. It actually scared me. I was what the fuck's going on? AC units is blown up. Okay, everyone's sweaty now. Take your shirts off. It's gonna get hot in here now.
Oh yeah! But as soon as that explosion went off, your face, like as you were driving back into PD, you were just shocked. You didn't know what to do, and then next thing you did, you laughed.
Trying to think. I think I'm out of questions. That's what I have. I think. Unless there's anything else you guys want to discuss. I guess it run for about an hour, but I was like, I don't know how the chat's gonna go. I don't know how things are gonna go into the conversation, but yeah.
I guess we could kind of go into like maybe the good sides of what we've seen of staff, and then maybe the bad sides, maybe, and just kind of flow with that. See what people have to say about that. I know Pabz is holding a lot back. I mentioned it before the stream started, so
what?
What the good and bad things of staff?
The good and bad things about staff?
Yeah, like what do you like? What do you find good about being a staff member? What do you like being a staff member for? What what good do you get out of it?
Well, so obviously I became a staff member just because I'm my age. I like to help people. I might come across a dick sometimes. That's probably because of my age. Obviously, a lot of the gangs they encounter me as Plague. Which obviously I play that character as just an absolute dick. That if you fuck up, you'll get shot. Some people don't like it. But that's the way it is. That's the way it's always been. I've got an old staff member that's not here anymore to thank for that. Asher and all. Asher guided me along the way. And a big shout out to Woodsy, because he was another one that sort of guided me in it all. Like, I used to just toe the line. Like, when I was in a gang, when I first joined, like, I didn't do any rule breaks or anything. I remember we actually had a hacker in our gang, and I remember getting dragged into a call one morning after we had a gunfight the night before, and I got PC checked. Now, I've never cheated on a game in my life, and I remember sitting there thinking, "Fucking hell, you know, is this really what it is?" And that just sort of got me intrigued to help the community, you know, be there for people. Like a lot of people, you know, probably think I do come across a bit harsh, but I get my point across. You know, like I said before, role play over rule play. You know, like I do like to bend the rules a bit myself, and if the RP scene's worthy of it, I'll let it roll. You know, again, going back to just don't be a dick with it. As long as everyone's having fun, you know, like I'm down. You know,
Do you think?
like
So, like,
go
obviously,
on.
I don't know this, right? Because I don't have that ability to do it. Like, from a, I'm not sure what role you need to be able to do it, but like, obviously, going around and observing scenes and kind of watching it from that perspective. Do you think when it comes to you kind of going into RP, that because of what you know, kind of by watching scenes from, you know, that kind of view, you can help kind of shift and adapt and kind of tailor the way you maybe approach a scene because of what you know, obviously from the staff thing. Does that make sense? Like in order,
Well-
because like you obviously see that typically when things get reported and you're watching it from that perspective, it's because shit's gone south, right? And something like a rule's been broken or somebody's fucked up somewhere. So like you obviously know kind of how those things kind of come about through experience. So when it comes to it, when you're actually doing the RP in City and you maybe see it hasn't gone that far yet, but like, do you feel like it helps because you can maybe bring the scene back a little bit to stop it from going that far? Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it does. I mean, at first, obviously, not many people knew who I was, so certain people had just clearly break rules. You know what I mean? And then next minute, they'd get a flight, and they'd wonder why. You know, whereas now nearly everybody knows who I am. So if they hear my voice, they sort of like reel it in to the point. I'm trying to read chat at the same time, so you can all fuck
read
off.
the chat because it's just they're just insulting you.
Yeah, I know they are. And I'm not 60, I'm 40. But no, they sort of hear your voice, you know what I mean? And they reel it in a bit, which it's a good thing. But like you said about like watching scenes and stuff like that, I sort of disconnect from that side of it. You know, like at first it used to be hard. Like you'd see stuff and hear stuff that you know out of City. Like I know everything, you know, to do with gangs, everything. Like I know what they're planning. I know everything. But then I go in City and I've got to play it off like I don't know anything, you know. And at first it used to be really hard, like to sort of like separate it. Whereas now, because I've been doing it for so long, we call it RP check, don't we? You know, like I'll RP check people, and then I'll be like, "How do you know that? You know, why are you bringing that up? You know, stuff like that." But yeah, like you do sort of feel scenes, you know, from seeing it from a different perspective, where like they'll start going south, and
Yep.
I'll either try jumping, or you know, like you say, try to change the direction of it, or maybe just a quick little DM to the person that's in question to say, look, let's just curb it a little bit. But yeah, no, I can't even remember the question. I'm just going off on one now.
This is fine
So-
though. This is kind of what it's about, though, right? It's just kind of speaking your mind, your thoughts, getting out there,
But yeah,
and sharing.
to a staff side of it, to an RP side of it, I completely disconnect. Like it's two different things, you know. Obviously, I see things from different angles, you know, and to be quite honest with you, I probably know how a lot of people work, you know, and their mindset. Like I know that Nev likes to shoot, so 9 times out of 10, if you're in a police chase with Nev, you're gonna get shot.
I feel like
He
I
knows
don't
it,
really,
and I'll look at the face.
I feel like I've not really had many scenes with Nev, to be honest with you. I think the only time I've ever
Yeah,
seen
no.
Nev is like there was one scene where you and fucking Ren Savage class 3'd a bunch of guys in Uwu Cafe or Cat Cafe.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I
that
rode
now.
up and I looked through the window. I'm like responding to 1013s. Obviously, shots fired. I look through the window and I see like this little blue cow, and I see Ken and about 7 bodies on the ground. And I'm like, yep, I think that's the last time I saw Nev. To be honest with you, I've got a question for Pabz, and that obviously when you do like a ban or something like that, you have to fill out a report, right, to say what happened. How long does it take you to do that as a one-finger typer?
Oh, fuck off. I've
Oh
got
my
better.
God.
I've got better over time, put it that way.
By the time you finish typing it out, is his ban up? And you let him
Well,
back
put
in?
it this way. I was on PD not last night, the night before, and I can't remember which other. Yeah, I think he was a mod in question, and in the time it took him to type racist, I typed it twice and sent 2 people. So that's saying something, isn't it? And he spelled it wrong. So there we go. Not that bad. I'm a talker. I'm a talker, not a typer. I'd rather send you a red eye and say, "Come to the clouds," and I'll fucking chew your ear off and tell you how it is. Scare the shit out of you. Basically.
I'd quite like to know, because obviously I don't really see it from a gang perspective. I've obviously got some. I think I've got 2 criminal characters. One is non-existent. It's just a name that was reserved because Stream thought it'd be kind of cool. And I've got Elmo. Elmo knows. Elmo can help.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run around, have some fun, you know. So I got Elmo, right? But he's not really a gang member. He's just like this little shithead who's very bad at what he does, right? He's just there. So I've got this idea in the back of my head of like it's cool little video or whatever, and I'll go and have some fun with it, right? And I'll jump on, do Elmo, this narcolepsy clown that keeps falling asleep. But I've never really seen the gang perspective, so I'll be interested to kind of hear kind of both sides when it comes to kind of you doing PD stuff and gang stuff, because I think they're both very important, right, when it comes to City, like the health and dynamic, because they're both, those 2 things themselves are involved in quite a lot of the economy, kind of everything, right, when it comes to the city. So yeah, people that are, I guess, Nev, you got a PD, you got a gang. MrShortLegs, I think you've got gang, you got PD, right? So like when it comes to scene, knowing what you know is like, do you feel like it's a good healthy dynamic? Like is there anything that needs to maybe change on one side or the other to make it overall more healthy? Like what's your thoughts? And I can't really comment on the gang stuff because I don't do it.
I mean, I can't really comment on the gang stuff either because I'm not in a gang.
Okay. Have you ever been in a gang at all?
I've been in 2 gangs before, but that was 3 years ago. And the dynamic now is completely different.
Okay, all right. So I guess, well, you got Pabz, right, from a plague perspective that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Plague? Who?
Yeah, plague who? And then you got, I guess, Nev, right? So you got triads.
Yeah.
I think it's probably mainly aimed at you, mate. I'm not gonna lie.
So like, wait, can you repeat the question again?
So like you've got gang, you got gang RP, right? You got gang characters and you got
Yeah.
PD characters. And like when you do both, is there like how is the dynamic? Because obviously I don't really see the gang stuff. I don't know how hard it is to do certain things from a gang perspective. You've got the whole kind of turf. I don't know, right? The gang stuff. I truly don't know much about it. So like when it comes to scenes and like fairness and kind of that W and L kind of mentality and stuff like that, I don't like using those words, but like, do you feel like right now, be honest, is there a fair balance? And if it's not, what needs to change to make it fair? In your
I
opinion,
feel like
in your
people are too attached on Crim to what they've got, like money, guns, anything to do with like what you've got. Because obviously, if you lose it, it's gone. But like obviously, when you go on PD, you can just like if you die, you can just like obviously just respawn, go to the armory. You know,
Yeah.
that's people are really attached to their stuff, and it shouldn't be like that. Especially because of the economy. Personally, I think it's absolutely shocking. Just because people have millions and millions and millions and like hundreds of guns. It's just like I feel like
See,
it needs to be,
from a gun perspective, economy perspective, Elmo is having a terrible time. I had to rob a cadet for food, right? I'm struggling to even obtain a gun as Elmo, but obviously, but as you get to, dude, he's a terrible crim. Like he does store robberies, can't even get thermite, right? So like Elmo's in a bad place. All right, I had who was it? It was fucking Eugene. I I convinced Eugene to get close to me, and I put out a lighter and threatened to burn his eyebrows off if I didn't. And I robbed him for some food and ran away. Because I think I was on 30%. I was gonna go down. So like I robbed him for food, and it made
With
a
a
good fun
lighter.
scene with a lighter. Like, dude, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it and see what happens. Obviously, they might just run away. And I was funny. As I did it, I'm like, dude, I wish he just blows it out. So there's like a slash me blows that lighter, and I reignites it, and it's just me and him going backwards and forwards with blowing and putting out this lighter. But all that stuff kind of comes to me after the scene. But like Elmo's perspective from the economy and trying to get stuff is quite difficult when you're first in the door. So someone coming in for the first time, the first thing they want to do is get a gun, right? And like it can be tough when you're new to the city and don't have a gang. You don't have people there to kind of just give you shit. Obviously, from a gang perspective, you have a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah, I haven't tried this but fresh.
Sorry, I didn't hear you there
Should try to
because
do
the sub notification. Thank you, NXT RP Dan. Thank you, Dan. I think Big Dan's here.
Oh,
The Big D.
the big man.
Big
Nah,
D.
I haven't started fresh in a long time, man. So I'd probably gonna try that.
So yeah, so you honestly talked about kind of losing stuff, right? From a PD perspective, it's something I've kind of tried to tell the guys in RP as best as possible is that the stuff we have is all free, like as you said, right? If we lose a gun, we can just go get it. We don't really lose anything. Where I tried to. Ren, I appreciate the gift. Thank you. I can't turn it down either. I can't turn down the sub alerts. What was I gonna say? Shit. We don't lose stuff. So like when it comes to PD, we're kind of RP facilitators, kinda. Like if we shoot this guy or we catch this guy, they're losing stuff, right? If PD go down, we don't lose anything. We lose time. Like that's about it, right? So it's just about trying to find that balance and apply a bit of empathy sometimes when it comes to scenes, and go in with that kind of awareness and kind of empathy a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, something that is clarified, obviously, I just saw in chat, those staff members that are, above mod and everything, the people that have powers in city and in the server aren't allowed in gangs because of the community where we do get sort of the accusations of abuse and, power game and thrown at us. So when people are saying that it may be a conflict of interest, it's generally not the case. We are restricted as much as anybody, if not more, because of our roles, but we voluntarily chose to do them.
I think that's why PD is such a big thing for us as staff for the value of RPs, because that's the only time we ever get, to involve ourselves in like shootouts or something like that along the lines of what is interacting with other gangs really. But yeah, as John said, that we get claims of being in gangs and power gaming and being biased towards gangs, and we're not even in gangs.
Mm-hmm.
But we get the accusations anyway. So before that's even a thing, we're still getting blamed for it. So you can only imagine that putting all admins and stuff in gangs, it's only gonna make things worse, and people are gonna use it against us. Like no matter what we do, we could be absolutely spot on with not using anything or not involving the staff side of it at all in the gang situations, but we'll still get blamed for it. It's just what people would use as an excuse to kind of shit on us, basically. But yeah, no, I feel like we would get a lot more RP from that. But obviously we've got PD as our source of RP. So when people come up to us on COP and try to ruin our RP by coming over and asking us questions and stuff, it does annoy us because that's our only time to actually RP. So next time if anyone's in here who's on COP and comes up to one of us and asks us something, please don't, because that's our only piece from it.
I've been looking at chat, right, making sure I'm not missing any questions or anything. I've not seen a single ban appeal. It's great. I've not seen one person come in and say, "Can I get a ban, please?" Now I've said it, everyone's gonna ask.
You've been looking at a different chat than I have. Because I've seen it.
Have you seen?
I haven't all day.
My glasses aren't working then.
Ignored it.
Okay, forget everything I said. The boss, the wifey, just came in and asked for 2 minutes, so I'm gonna have to leave the stream with you guys for like 1 minute. If you guys, I don't want to leave you in silence though, so I think I need to pick up a topic and as you guys are speaking, leave.
Yeah.
For 2 seconds while the wifey grabs me. And I just want to use this as a bit of a break just to go to the toilet and stuff. To be fair, I think we're getting near the end anyway, right? It's been like hour and a half. I feel like we've gone through the questions.
I'd say it's probably about it. But can I just point out before we do anything like that can we all give big props to Rob for setting all this up, because he's done all this these templates and stuff, got us all on the screen, he's got us all together. He's been planning this for a little while now.
Thank you.
He's got all these questions, and there's everyone here listening to it. It's all because of Banks and his streams. So if anyone can support him in any way possible, please do, because this guy is the only person that's in City that actually gives something back to us, and we all appreciate him. We've told you multiple times. We've we've done things for you and stuff to try and show you our appreciation. So big props to Banks for that one, and we appreciate
it.